The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. Narrated by Michael Page. Copyright 2006 by Scott Lynch. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Bantam Dell, a division of Random House, Inc., and was produced in the year 2009 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Prologue. The Boy Who Stole Too Much. 1. At the height of the long wet summer of the 77th year of Sendovani, the thief-maker of Camor paid a sudden and unannounced visit to the eyeless priest at the temple of Perilandro, desperately hoping to sell him the Lamora boy.
"Have I got a deal for you?"
the thief-maker began, perhaps inauspiciously. "Another deal like Carlo and Galdo, maybe?" said the eyeless priest. "I've still got my hands full training those giggling idiots out of every bad habit they picked up from you and replacing them with the bad habits I need."
"No chains."
The thief-maker shrugged.
"I told you they were shit-flinging little monkeys when we made the deal, and it was good enough for you at the—"
"Or maybe another deal like Sabbatha?" The priest's richer, deeper voice chased the thief-maker's objection right back down his throat. "I'm sure you recall charging me everything but my dead mother's kneecaps for her. I should have paid you in copper and watched you spring a rupture trying to haul it all away."
"Ah, but she was special, and this boy, he's special too," said the thief-maker. "Everything you asked me to look for after I sold you Carlo and Galdo. Everything you liked so much about Sabbatha. He's Camori, but a mongrel. Therin and Vadron blood with neither dominant. He's got larceny in his heart, sure as the sea's full of fish piss. And I can even let you have him at a discount."
The eyeless priest spent a long moment mulling this. "You'll pardon me," he finally said, "if the suggestion that the minuscule black turnip you call a heart is suddenly overflowing with generosity toward me leaves me wanting to arm myself and put my back against a wall." The thief-maker tried to let a vaguely sincere expression scurry onto his face, where it froze in evident discomfort. His shrug was theatrically casual.
"There are, problems with the boy, yes. But the problems are unique to his situation in my care. Were he under yours, I'm sure they would, vanish."
"Oh, you have a magic boy. Why didn't you say so?" The priest scratched his forehead beneath the white silk blindfold that covered his eyes. "Magnificent! I'll plant him in the fucking ground and grow a vine to an enchanted land beyond the clouds."
"Ah, I've tasted that flavor of sarcasm before, Chains."
The thief-maker gave an arthritic mock bow.
"That's the sort you spit out as a bargaining posture. Is it really so hard to say that you're interested?"
The eyeless priest shrugged. "Suppose Carlo, Galdo, and Sabbatha might be able to use a new playmate, or at least a new punching bag. Suppose I'm willing to spend about 3 coppers and a bowl of piss for a mystery boy. But you'll still need to convince me that you deserve the bowl of piss. What's the boy's problem?"
"His problem," said the thief-maker, "is that if I can't sell him to you, I'm going to have to slit his throat and throw him in the bay. And I'm going to have to do it tonight."
2. On the night the Lamora boy had come to live under the thief-maker's care, the old graveyard on Shades Hill had been full of children, standing at silent attention and waiting for their new brothers and sisters to be led down into the mausoleums. The thief-maker's wards all carried candles, Their cold blue light shone through the silver curtains of river mist, as street lamps might glimmer through a smoke-grimed window. A chain of ghost light wound its way down from the hilltop, through the stone markers and ceremonial paths, down to the wide glass bridge over the coal-smoke canal, half visible in the blood-warm fog that seeps up from Camor's wet bones on summer nights.
Come now, my loves, my jewels, my newly founds, keep the pace,
whispered the thief-maker as he nudged the last of the 30 or so catch-fire orphans over the coal-smoke bridge.
These lights are just your new friends, come to guide your way up the hill. Move now, my treasures. There's darkness wasting, and we have so much to talk about.
In rare moments of vain reflection, the thief-maker thought of himself as an artist. A sculptor, to be precise, with orphans as his clay and the old graveyard on Shades Hill as his studio. 88,000 souls generated a certain steady volume of waste. This waste included a constant trickle of lost, useless, and abandoned children. Slavers took some of them, hauling them off to Tal Verar, or the Jeremite Islands. Slavery was technically illegal in Camor, of course, but the act of enslavement itself was winked at, if there was no one left to speak for the victim. So slavers got some, and plain stupidity took a few more. Starvation and the diseases it brought were also common ways to go, for those who lacked the courage or the skill to pluck a living from the city around them. And then, of course, those with courage but no skill often wound up swinging from the Black Bridge in front of the Palace of Patience. The Duke's magistrates disposed of little thieves with the same rope they used on bigger ones, though they did see to it that the little ones went over the side of the bridge with weights tied to their ankles to help them hang properly. Any orphans left after dicing with all of those colorful possibilities were swept up by the thief-maker's own crew, one at a time or in small, frightened groups. Soon enough, they would learn what sort of life awaited them beneath the graveyard that was the heart of his realm, where 70 of cast-off children bent the knee to a single bent old man.
Quick step, my lovelies, my new sons and daughters. Follow the line of lights and step to the top. We're almost home, almost fed, almost washed up and bedded down, out of the rain and the mist and the stinking heat.
Plagues were a time of special opportunity for the thief-maker, and the catch-fire orphans had crawled away from his very favorite sort, Locke Whisper. It fell on the catch-fire district from points unknown, and the quarantine had gone up. Death by cloth-yard shaft for anyone trying to cross a canal or escape on a boat, in time to save the rest of the city from everything but unease and paranoia. Locke Whisper meant a miserable death for anyone over the age of 11 or 12, as near as physicers could figure, for the plague was not content to reap by overly firm rules, and a few days of harmless swollen eyes and red cheeks for anyone younger. By the 5th day of the quarantine, there were no more screams and no more attempted canal crossings, so Catchfire evaded the namesake fate that had befallen it so many times before in years of pestilence. By the 11th day, when the quarantine was lifted and the Duke's ghouls went in to survey the mess, perhaps 1 in 8 of the 400 children previously living there had survived the wait. They had already formed gangs for mutual protection and had learned certain cruel necessities of life without adults. The thief-maker was waiting as they were corralled and led out from the sinister silence of their old neighborhood. He paid good silver for the best 30, and even more good silver for the silence of the ghouls and constables he relieved of the children. Then he led them, dazed and hollow-cheeked and smelling like hell, into the dark steam bath mists of the Camorri night, toward the old graveyard on Shades Hill. The Lamora boy was the youngest and smallest of the lot, 5 or 6 years old, nothing but jutting bones under skin rich with dirt and hollow angles. The thief-maker hadn't even chosen him. The boy had simply crept away with the others, as though he belonged. The thief-maker was not unaware of this, but he'd lived the sort of life in which even a single free plague orphan was a windfall not to be overlooked. It was the summer of the 77th year of Gandalo, father of opportunities, lord of coin and commerce. The thief-maker padded through the shrouded night, shepherding his ragged line of children. In just 2 years, he would be all but begging Father Chains, the eyeless priest, to take the Lamora boy off his hands, and sharpening his knives in case the priest refused. 3. The eyeless priest scratched his grey stubbled throat. No shit.
None whatsoever.
The thief-maker reached down the front of a doublet that was several years past merely shabby, and pulled out a leather pouch on a fine leather cord. The pouch was dyed the rust red of dried blood.
Already went to the big man and got permission. I'll do the boy ear to ear and send him for teeth lessons.
God, it's a sob story after all. For an eyeless priest, the fingers he jabbed into the thief-maker's sternum struck swift and sure. Find some other lackwit to shackle with the chains of your conscience.
Conscience can go piss up a chimney, Chains. I'm talking avarice, yours and mine. I can't keep the boy, and I'm offering you a unique opportunity, a genuine bargain.
If the boy's too unruly to keep, why can't you just pound some wisdom into him and let him ripen to a proper age of sale?
Out of the question, Chains. Limited options. I can't just slap him around because I can't let any of the other little shits know what he's done. If any of them had the slightest inclination to pull what he's pulled, gods, I'd never be able to control them again. I can either kill him quick or sell him quicker. No profit versus a paltry sum. So guess which one I prefer.
The boy's done something you can't even mention in front of the others. Chains massaged his forehead above the blindfold and sighed. Shit! This sounds like something I might actually be interested in hearing.